This is the EnergyByte Solutions Divestiture Management Suite. And now I'm going to show you the Divestiture Workbench within the Divestiture Management Suite. In this example, I'm going to create a new portfolio. I will click the Create button. In the initial Create screen, you'll drop down and select a portfolio status, then give the portfolio a name. The next step is to select this button or this button. This is for operated properties generally that have well completions. This would be like a check and put, settlement statement, managed property, something like a royalty only property. In the next screen, I'll drop down on the perspective I want to use as my selection criterion. In this case, I chose well completion. It has the state and county code on it. So I'm going to choose Bailey County Wells. And actually, in this case, I want to choose state 42, or I can drop down and pick Texas. And then it'll show me a list of counties in Texas. And I'm going to choose Bailey County. The next step is to choose this button, which will list all the wells in Bailey County. Then I can choose this button, which will collapse the selection area and give me the list and open up the list for clear view. The next step is to select which wells I want to add to the list. In this case, I want all of Bailey County, so I would just choose select all, or I can choose individual records, wells, or I can actually cherry pick specifically which wells I want included in the list. In this case, I'm going to use select all, and I just click this button to add the selected items. Now that those wells are selected, I can arrow back to the main screen. And you'll notice I can drop down each perspective and it'll show me the related master data from those perspectives. And at that point I'm ready to go. I'm just saving it. Now that it has been saved, I'm going to go back in to the list of saved portfolios. In this case, I'm going to go back to the one I just created. And in this case, I can change the portfolio if I made a mistake or I want to add some wells or whatever the case may be. In this case, I would simply check the change button icon. And then I could go back in and based on these various perspectives, let's say I can see that these are Bailey County. Let's say I only wanted gas wells. So I would filter on the well class. In this case, I want to filter on oil well. So I want gas wells. That clicks, I'll select all, and I click this remove selected entities button. And then save it. Now only gas wells are included in the portfolio. So I'm going to arrow back here and just show you the various perspectives. Well completion data, the DFI to well completion cross-reference, PRA venture, base DFI, DOI accounting, DOI ownership, marketing cost exemptions if they apply, the rare groups, cost centers from cost accounting, joint venture accounting venture, joint venture owner equity group, the owner core information. If there's units, there'd be the unit track would show up here, DFI legal description, owner bank information, owner PRA information, valuation cross-reference, PRA contract, remitter DFI cross-reference, owner address, and DOI accounting severance tax types. One of the values of the Divestiture Workbench is the ability to see all these various pieces of master data that are related to each other. for one portfolio, in this case, a group of wells. And I could have selected based on location of the venture DFI. I could select all these different perspectives if that selection criteria is available in that perspective to traverse back and forth between master data. There's a lot of power in being able to see all this information in one transaction code, whereas currently you would have to go through SC16 or a Z custom SC16. You might not get all the information you need. It may take you quite a long while to gather it. In addition to, if you have, let's say, DUI ownership in here, and you come back in your portfolio and there was a transfer, let's say, from Farmer Joe to some other owner, that new owner would show up. You would not have to recreate the portfolio. Now that I'm happy with the results, I can download this data into an Excel spreadsheet or text files. This is very useful both internally for business development or others that request information, or externally for a prospective buyer. So in this case, I can select all these perspectives, or I can select individual perspectives, or I can cherry pick individual perspectives so I can, if I decide I only want some piece of information. In this case, I'm going to select all, and by checking this box, it'll bring up another dialog which tells me to send it to Excel or download it to Excel. So I clicked the radio button to download to Excel. It took about maybe 10 seconds, not long. Obviously, the larger the data, it may take a little longer. But you can see from the Excel spreadsheet, what happens is each perspective becomes a tab. Well completion dated, etc. If I scroll across here on the bottom, you can see all the different perspectives are in tabs. Now, obviously, once in Excel, if you have Excel skills or know what you're doing, you can do whatever you want with this data. This is very useful if you actually pull off a divestiture or have a prospective asset sale and you want to send data to a prospective buyer, or in the case if you're just trying to analyze internally. The other option is to download it to a file as opposed to Excel. Same process, with the exception being I choose file or text instead of Excel. And it will create files that can be used for external internal analysis. The next functionality I want to demonstrate, I'm in the portfolio. Up here in extras, I have what's called a data bridge. These same transaction codes in the data bridge are available independently in our menu path. The difference being, if I go in data bridge, and let's say I choose the PRA owner balance report, the venture DFIs related to that portfolio are already pre-populated in this report. So the beauty of that is, if I was thinking about selling or had sold some assets, and I need to know the legal suspense balance, or in this case, both legal and owner payable, and I need to ship that to a company that had purchased the assets. I mean, it's so easy to do this at this point. I simply run the report. Now we have an owner level report, company owner level, and detail level. The most used are going to be the owner level, detail level, high level, low level. So if I just want to get a quick balance by owner, I execute it. In this case, there are no balances. So my example is not good, but you can envision how that would be if I did have a balance. In order to properly demonstrate the data bridge, I put up a portfolio with a legal suspense balance. So I'm going to again go to extras, data bridge, and I'm going to pull up the PRA owner balance report. Again, pre-populated. Run the report into the owner level. I can see the owner number, name. In this case, it's legal suspense or suspense. And this is a payable that hasn't been, an owner's payable that hasn't been paid yet. These are shown as a liability, which is a negative. If I wanted to see just absolute values, I can display it as a positive. That way, if I send information out to a buyer, or prospective buyer, it would show in absolute terms. The other thing is I can click detail level, And this would be more something I would send to a buyer, which she has a lot more detail about the venture DFI, the name of it, et cetera, the ownership, NRI, suppose, the net road interest, et cetera, volumes, values, and so forth. Next up in the data bridge is the DO summary sheet. Again, pre-populated. And this gives me a division order summary sheet that I can look at in various formats. I can download the individual DO summary sheets for external and internal use. And the data bridge, last up is the joint venture gross working interest report. Again, it's pre-populated and will show me, in this case, a working interest owner and their equity share, and so forth. This concludes the Divestiture Workbench demonstration, high-level demonstration. If you have any questions, please contact us on our website at EnergyByteSolutions.com.